Love and light, ladies. This is Love, also known as the Self Love Guru, and I am your confidence coach. Um, I'm just trying to make sure everything looks good, it's well placed, but I think we're good. So, as you can see from the title of the video, it says, "Are you focused too much on others?" And I really wanted to discuss this topic because we've been on self care for a few weeks now. It's like going on 3 weeks, about to be a month next week. And I thought this would be a really good topic to talk about. And I wanted to just start off with my personal story and some things that I've experienced. And then, of course, share with you ladies how you know that you may be too preoccupied with other things. So, one of the most valuable things that I've learned just living life is that you have to learn to be present. And my little sister was just looking at my vision board, and it was talking about like focusing on the now, like live in the present moment. And she's like, "Well, what does this stand for?" And so she's looking at my vision board and just asking me questions about the different things that I posted. And I was explaining them to her. And I was letting her know that I have not always been in the present moment, but being in the present is just being able to focus on whatever it is you're doing. And I also have a short attention span sometimes. So at times, let's say I'm like listening to an audiobook or something, like I can't follow along with my eyes and listen at the same time. I have to be doing something else, and that helps me listen better. And I know a few other people like that. So that's not what I'm referring to. But what I'm talking about is being preoccupied with things where you're really not able to give your full attention to what's right in front of you. And this can negatively impact a lot of things. It can negatively impact your career. It can negatively impact your relationship if you feel like, you're not receiving the attention that you need or that you desire, or a person is more concerned with, their thoughts and feelings and have no regard towards you. But it can also have a negative impact on your life outcomes because sometimes you do need to hyper focus on yourself and what you have going on. And when you're not constantly checking in with yourself, like really asking yourself, like, am I growing? Like, did I make more money than I did last year, this year? Did I grow as a person? Did I learn anything? What books did I read last year? Like really checking in with yourself to see, how am I doing? Like take inventory of that. So I wanted to give you ladies a few ways that you know that you are preoccupied, and then of course share my story because that wasn't even the story, believe it or not. I have so many. So the story is I am the eldest of four girls. And as you all know, Button, she's not even 10 yet. She's the newbie in the family. But I always remember just always coming to my sister's rescue. Like if they called me and they said something happened at the house, I was right in Raleigh, and Greensboro is less than 2 hours away. So I would literally fly up the highway. I'm talking about heated, like ready, and upset about whatever was going on. And I realized, like, I feel like I'm constantly putting myself at a disadvantage, or I had something else that I could have been doing, but I didn't do it because I decided to run up here and see what you all had going on. And I had to learn to really fall back and allow my family to handle their own issues and concerns because I was doing too much. It's already a full-time job looking out for myself, but then having to be responsible for someone who's not my child is a whole different responsibility, right? And so I felt myself being tugged in so many different directions, getting a phone call about something negative, to the point that when I was in college, I actually set up a rule that if you don't have anything positive to say, don't call me before 10 a.m. Like don't call me in the morning and tell me something crazy cuz I don't want to know. Like keep it away from me. And that was one of the best things I'd ever done for myself because people carry so much baggage, y'all. Like, and it's not even that they mean to, but some people just don't know how to unload their own personal issues. And so they will just dump everything on you and make it seem like it's your fault and take things out on you that have nothing to do with you. And it doesn't feel good. And so if you're one of those people who every time this person has an issue, you're always coddling them or trying to find a way to solve their problem, how can they grow and learn how to solve their own issues? And so I realized not only was I putting them at a disadvantage to handle their problems, but I was also very codependent because I was looking for them to have a problem, and that's really what gave me purpose, was being the defender, being the problem solver, right? So I talk to you ladies all the time like about taking that cape off. Like it's okay to give some advice sometimes, even if sometimes it's unsolicited, sometimes you have to do that, right? However, it's not okay to do any of that stuff at your expense. Like you're literally emotionally drained. You literally have nothing else to give yourself because you're always worried about what somebody else has going on. I even remember, in high school, like always defending my friends and like trying to fight their battles because I know what it feels like to be that underdog and to have people, talking about you or disrespecting you. And how intimidating that can be for someone. So I've always been one to bully the bullies. Like if you are bullying someone, you and I are going to have a problem because I don't like that. Right. However, if I would have empowered a person like, hey, stand up for yourself, don't let people talk to you like that. Wouldn't that be, or couldn't it be just as effective instead of me being like, oh no, like you and I have a problem now, like that's not my responsibility. And so I say all that to say, it's not that you can't help a person or that you can't be the one that shows someone that they don't deserve a certain type of treatment, but you don't have to be self sacrificial. So, a few signs where you know that you are just way too much in other people's business is one, being preoccupied. I remember having so much on my mind, and this may resonate with a lot of you ladies, but just being in a position where I couldn't think straight. Like I couldn't have a straight line of thoughts. I'm always like jumbled up thinking about something else. Intrusive thoughts are popping up in my head about something that happened that upset me, even if it had nothing to do with me. And me just always like going back to not being able to be in the present, like I was not able to do that. I'm always thinking about, oh, the future, like, oh, well, when I see this person, this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do. Or in the past, when I saw this person, this is what I did, this is what I said, always telling a story. Like, have you ever met someone who always had a story about the past? Like, that stuff gets annoying. And I know it's annoying. And I used to be one of those people. I always had a past story. But I like the fact that now I don't always have a story about the past. I can tell a story about the past like I'm doing now to teach a lesson, to do a video, to make sure that it's a learning experience, but not just to be repeating traumatic things or really having no purpose behind the story. Like, literally, when people do that, I'm like, "Okay, why are you telling me this? Like, let's get to the point." And I'm not being rude about it. I'm literally just asking, like, what is the point of this story? I mean, we waste so much time, and it's because our minds are preoccupied. So that is sign number one. The second thing was double booking myself. So this may sound crazy, but I was so busy trying to distract myself from my own internal problems that I would double book myself. Like I would forget, okay, I told this person that I could come babysit at 6 o'clock, but I had a prior engagement at 5 and it's not over until 7. Like, what am I going to do? And having to choose one or the other. And sometimes having to choose neither, like having to be like, you know what? I can't. Like, I can't. I need a brain break. And so, if you're finding yourself double booking yourself because you're preoccupied with things, you need to slow down. And I will encourage you, this is my challenge for you. If you find yourself double booking, never tell people yes immediately. Like, I have a very crafty way of doing that, of saying, let me get back to you. Or if they're like, I need to know like right now because of that, it's like, okay, well, no, I don't want to commit to that because I would need some time to check on it. And let the cards fall where they may. You know, if you literally can't wait so I can check my schedule first to make sure that I can make the commitment, it's probably not a commitment that I want to be a part of, right? So just say no. But initially, you can let them know, like, let me check my schedule. Let me get back to you on that. I'll write it down, write down the date. And then I do get back to them with a call or with a text and say, hey, yes, I can make it here, or no, I cannot. I've even gotten to the habit now where if I do make a commitment to someone, I will clear my schedule to make sure that I'm present for it. And last minute things drive me nuts. Like I hate it when someone is just like, oh, I have this to do. Oh, I have it's like, okay, why didn't you tell me this before? Like I am a planner now, and I'm a planner because that is part of my self-care. That is part of me not being preoccupied, because then I'm going to be preoccupied with the fact that you just pissed me off because you're bringing up things the last minute, right? So the third thing is being quick to react. So as I said in the story, I was always like jumping up, like, oh, you said what happened? All right, I'm on my way. Like no thought process. Like I literally went from 0 to 100 and did not think about it. And, some people look at me now and they're like, oh my gosh, you're just always so serious and you seem like a very stern individual. And I am that, but I used to be so much worse, you guys. Like so much worse. Like it was literally like I did not think, I didn't have any emotional regulation. And so now I'm at a place in life where I can teach this to women, through the books, through teaching about self-love. I'm the self-love guru, so I love to teach people about better ways to care for themselves. And I just wrote a book, and it's called A Guide to Loving Yourself Better. And I love it so much. It has the cutest cover and it's pink, and you can get it on hangingoutwithlove.com. But it really dives into being able to focus on yourself. And I have a few exercises in there for the readers so that they're able to focus in on themselves and think about, like, what kind of things do I need to change? What kind of things do I want to focus on that will help me grow? Because that's what it boils down to. How can you love yourself better if you don't even know who you are? And so once I learned these things about myself, I was committed to changing them. And the last thing I'll tell you, ladies, is that when it comes to self-care, self-love, when it comes to changing attributes about yourself that you don't like, this is a process. This is unlearning like years of destructive thinking patterns, years of things that served you in the past but don't serve you anymore, years of having people tell you that you're doing something wrong when you're actually doing it right. Like, think about all those things that we did as a kid, just being free and being happy, and how we were ridiculed for them, wearing whatever we wanted, and just living our best lives, and how people took those things away from us, even our dreams. People take them away from you, and you have to get those back. You have to figure out how to get that back. And so once you dive into who you really are at the core, it'll help you get back to that space, that little girl inside of you. And that's who you have to focus on in order to grow. So definitely go get the book, go to hangingoutwithlove.com, click on the book section, Level Up Books, and it'll take you straight there. And yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a red heart in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night.